Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Comedian Mike Epps performs live at MGM National Harbor near Washington, D.C. this Friday and Saturday. He joined me to discuss his most famous roles from Next Friday to How High, The Hangover to Girls Trip, The Upshaws to I'm a Virgo, and why his Roscoe Jenkins co-star Martin Lawrence is one of the most underrated comics of his generation. Hey, Mike Epps. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on WTOP in Washington, D.C.
What's up, WTOP in Washington, D.C.?
Now, most interviews, we don't talk to them as they're driving. So, A, be safe, and B, where are you? Are you like heading down our way right now? Are you like on the Beltway or something?
Look where I'm at right now, man. I'm in the Marina Del Rey in L.A.
That looks beautiful. The weather looks beautiful out there. It's starting to feel a little fall around here, which I love, but that's a nice sunny weather out there.
It is. Yeah, man. I can't wait to come to D.C., man. D.C. like a second home to me, man. I love D.C., man. I love the people. I love the fact that they understand comedy. And that's one of my spots.
Oh, yeah. They're doing a festival called the Because They're Funny Festival in D.C. this weekend, right across town from where you are. And all the old OGs are going to be there, you know, Tony Woods and all those guys, Tommy Davidson. Everyone's going to be in town. It's going to be a big, funny weekend with your show. It's going to be great.
It was my OGs.
Oh, yeah. Well, whenever a comedian comes to town, like, it's so hard because I never want to spoil your actual punchlines. But if they come to the MGM National Harbor to see you, like, what sort of stuff do we go into? Like, there's a lot of political stuff. I don't know how much you get into that. The Speaker of the House just got ousted yesterday, and there's indictments against the former president, all this stuff. But I don't know. Do you go into any of that, or is it more like observational about your life?
Yeah, I'm more about the people, man. You know what I mean? I mean, it's only so much and so long you can talk about politics. So
yeah,
I lean more about people, about relationships, my own stuff, you know.
That's probably smart because A, most people are probably tired of talking about it, and B, you're going to alienate half the audience one way or another, no matter what joke you make. So, you know what I mean? It's probably smart.
Yeah.
So, hey, remind me whenever I have someone on, like, I want to hear sort of your origin story. Like, I know you were born in Indianapolis, Indiana in 1970. Like, who were your goats growing up? Like, who were the comedy legends you admired when you were a kid?
Definitely Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's hard to not say that coming up in the era that I came up in.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, you know, I mean, there was a lot out back then too. You know, back then it was a lot of goats out.
Oh yeah. And you were watching them right as they were peaking. Well, what was it for you then? What was your break? I guess you had to move out of Indiana and you were in Brooklyn at the time. You did HBO's Def Comedy Jam. Would you say that was the big break for you?
It was the break. It was a break. It was a break. The big break was me and Ice Cube. That got me in show business.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, because Ice Cube, I guess he did the first Friday in 95, but then you came on for the rest of the franchise as Day Jones in the sequels, Next Friday and Friday After Next, and working with Ice Cube in that. But yeah, memories of when you got cast in that, I'm sure you were a huge fan of that first one, Bye Felicia and Debo and all that were like instant pop culture things, like, so were you a huge fan of that when you joined the cast?
Oh yeah, how could you not be a fan of any of the Friday movies, man? That was a movie that was a cult movie for us that put a bird's eye view on how our life is in the hood and what we do, and people fell in love with it. So of course I was trapped and wrapped up in that.
Absolutely. A lot of fans will also remember you playing the pimp Baby Powder in How High with Redman and Method Man. Hey, I love their music. I mean, Method Man's one of the most iconic, gravelly voices ever. But yeah, I mean, memories of playing in How High. That talking about cult classics, that's another one.
How High, man, and definitely How High is Method Man and Redman definitely is part of the culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
they're definitely part of the culture, and like the Friday movies, these are culture pieces, man, that are just sitting there that is going to live on and live on and live on. Like Cheech and Chong, and
Yeah, they'll be watching. They'll be watching those long after you and I are gone. They'll just be around forever.
that's
And
what.
we mentioned DC Comics. Martin Lawrence is, got his start around here too, and you worked with him in Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. What's he like? Sort of, we all see how funny he is on screen, either in the Martin or the movies like Life, and I love Blue Streak. But what was Martin Lawrence like behind the scenes when as just a guy?
I'll tell you something. Martin Lawrence is, when we say Eddie Murphy and we say Richard Pryor, that's a younger age. That's when we was kids.
Yeah.
But when you say the 90s, man, Martin Lawrence is my hero, man, because he represented who we were. Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and them, that really wasn't our time. We was just kids watching some grown men be great. But Martin Lawrence, oh my God, man. He is the real GOAT, for real. He's Martin Lawrence. Martin made so much great work that is crazy. And he's underrated, man.
I agree.
Some of the work Martin did, man, it blows out 90% of this stuff that they putting up on the shelf. You know what I mean? The man laid it down, man. The movies, like you said, Blue Streak, Nothing to Lose.
Yeah. Bad Boys.
Come on, man. He was killing them.
Yeah, Life.
Nobody did it like Martin Lawrence.
Life. Man, Bad Boys. There's so many good ones.
Nobody did it like Martin Lawrence.
No, and I'm glad to hear you say that. He is underrated, because Martin and Fresh Prince were on the air around the same time, and Will takes off. Obviously, he's doing great and everything, but the other Bad Boys guy was just as good, and he's sort of underrated comparatively. I don't know why.
Man, Martin Lawrence was the culture, man, and he is the culture. Martin Lawrence did something to the game that nobody did, to the comedy game.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was hard to do because Eddie Murphy, he basically put the padlock on it.
Yeah, he did it all. Yeah.
Yeah, and Martin Lawrence came along and created a whole nother lock with a key, and you know what I mean?
That's a good way to put it. I love that. He made his new key.
He made a whole new padlock, bro. He didn't even mess with the Eddie Murphy padlock. It was like,
that's
bam.
Awesome. Well, you yourself, we're doting on Martin deservedly, but you have had your own padlocks, your own combinations in the comedy game as well. Tell me about. We mentioned Friday and how high and all that, Roscoe Jenkins, but tell me about the Hangover franchise, Black Doug, and you also sort of the female version of that, Girls Trip. You were in that too. I don't know why I always kind of think of those, going off to a wedding or like you know what I'm saying, bachelor party, bachelorette, kind of a vibe. And you were a part in two of them, Girls Trip and Hangover. Any memories of sort of those movies?
Man, it's funny that you said that because I always felt like I was a Robert Ory or a Dennis Rodman type of player. I never really felt like I was the real player on the team, but
right.
I would always come in for big shots and stuff like that. So you know what I mean? That's a cool position, man. I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah. You got Bradley Cooper as Michael Jordan in The Hangover or whatever, or Girls Trip, you got the four leading ladies as, Pippen but you're Rodman. You come in and get the rebounds.
Every time.
How about, it's Halloween season now. It's October. How about, the Resident Evil movies? I guess you did Meet the Blacks too, sort of a horror comedy, but how was it? Was it fun to, getting to show sort of the, what do you say, the eerie Halloween side of yourself?
Well, everybody likes a little spooky in them, So, I'm a man of many, many colors and faces, man. I put on a lot of different hats at different times.
Absolutely. And we'd be here all day if we talked about all of them. Dolomite, you played Richard Pryor a couple times, Nina Simone and Winning Time, which just got canceled, which sucks. But anyway, a lot of people love it. But yeah, let's talk about some of your more recent stuff because we would be here all day, but I want to hit the recent stuff real fast. How much of a joy has it been doing the Upshaws with, Wanda Sykes? I feel like we keep coming back to this, another DC alum, Wanda Sykes. But tell me about the Upshaws, memories of it real fast.
I mean, of course, the Upshaws is one of them shows that it was one of them shows that started off from an idea, turned into a script, turned into some success. Now everybody seems to like it, but it's very, very modern, up to date. A lot of people, can relate to it. We speaking about some real facts, some present facts. So touching on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, speaking of present facts, I'm a Virgo, the Boots Riley thing. I just reviewed that a couple months ago on Prime. Boots Riley, sorry to bother you. I mean, he's a wild filmmaker, man. But I'm a Virgo. I wanted to compliment you in that show because, I mean, yeah, Jarrell Jerome is the main character, but you too. And that deals, some of those monologues about capitalism and social commentary, like it's funny, but that show was deep. I mean, you agree?
It was real. It was the real deal. But I'll be in DC this weekend, man.
You parked. I think we got you on the road. Everyone check out your comedy show at MGM National Harbor. It's going to be this Friday and Saturday, so everybody get your tickets. Hey, thanks for taking time in the car for some comedians in cars getting coffee.
Peace.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.